Mindset 101. Happy Sunday, my mentally fit tribe, and I trust you're all having a blessed Sunday so far. So one of the phrases that we hear so often, people tell us that life is lifing. And usually them saying life is lifing means that, there are myriad of things that might be taking place in their life at that particular moment. And usually it's not a myriad of good or great things. It's usually a myriad of problems that might be, presenting themselves in their lives at that time for them to say that, life is really lifing. But even though life might be lifing, I want to remind you today that God is still God. He's still on the throne and He's still doing what only He can do in our lives. And because we have that reassurance that He's still on the throne and He's still able to do what only He can do in our lives, and because we also have the reassurance that He will never leave us and neither will He forsake us, then even when life is lifing, we should be at peace. We should have that peace, that peace that passeth all understanding. We should have that peace because we know that all things are working together for our good and God is working it all out. So the scripture I want to leave you with today is Isaiah 26 and verse 3, and it reads thus: "You will keep in perfect peace all who trust in you, all whose thoughts are fixed on you." So God will keep in perfect peace all who trust in Him and all whose thoughts are fixed on Him. And I can attest to this. I've had some unfortunate situations, in my life, some situations which I think really and truly should have kind of, shake me up a bit. But to be honest, I was at peace with the whole thing. Like everything unfolded how it unfolded. Persons who were to be revealed were revealed. God removed who we needed to remove. And even through all that and through the pruning process, I was still at peace because, I had continued to trust Him and to trust what He is doing. I've always looked and said, you know what? He knows best, and He really does know best, because we have to remember that no matter what we think we know about a person, some of us will say, that this has been my friend for over 20 years, over 30 years, over 40 years. And because there is that time frame or that time period for which we know the person, we think as though we really and truly know that person. We think that there are aspects of their life that, as far as we're concerned, we know everything about them. But the reality is we don't, and even sometimes some of these persons who we have known forever, really and truly, sometimes when things come to the fore and God reveals certain things, it really does take us by surprise, because we're saying, no man, it can't be the same person, because we know the person and, they're not like this and, they would not do this. But we always have to be mindful of the fact that the level on which God knows these individuals, we will never know. We'll never know them on that level. God knows their hearts. He knows their hearts and He knows their thoughts towards us. We will never know these things. Somebody could be standing right in front of us, smiling, and as far as we're concerned, we're all good. But deep down, you don't know what their thoughts are towards you. You don't know what their heart posture is towards you. So you'll never know. And so when certain things happen in our lives, we have to not get bent out of shape by it. Can't make it a getaway all riled up and, we are lose our mind and, we are lose our peace. No. You have to remember that we serve a God who is all-knowing. So if it is that something is happening in our lives, no, it serves a purpose. So instead, ask God to reveal to you, okay, what is the lesson that I'm supposed to take out of this situation now? You know, there's always something to get out of whatever the trial, whatever the tribulation that we might be facing in that particular moment. So, you know, ask God to reveal to you what it is. What's the lesson I'm supposed to take away from this? Don't get all, you know, stressed out. You know, you're losing your peace of mind. No. If it is that you have faith and trust in what God is doing in your life and what only He can do in your life, then you'll know that everything serves its purpose. So even when life is lifing, you know that the lifing is serving its purpose. It's building your character. It's taking you to a new level, you know. So you always have to try and look for the positives in everything that might be going on in your life. But I encourage you to fix your mind on God. Like when you don't understand what's going on, seek Him, because He is able to keep you in perfect peace. I mean, even when everything is going on around you, everything is burning down, you know, when everything is upside down, topsy-turvy, you know, trust and believe that if it is that your mind is fixed on Him, if it is that you're trusting in Him, then even when everything around you is shaken, you'll still be standing firm. You'll still be at peace. You'll still just be waiting, you know, for Him to calm the storm. And you know the calm is going to come. So you'll just be there expectant and knowing that, okay, this might be happening now, but God is already working it out. And that's the composure we need to have. You know, as Christians, as children of God, we just need to know that, you know, when things present themselves, you know, before we start getting worried and we start stressing out ourselves, first thought should be, you know what? God is going to work it out. You know, when the trials come, you know, for me personally, I look at it and say, okay, it seems like God have another testimony to give me. That's how I approach it. I'm like, okay, I guess there's another testimony to come, because I just know that whatever is going on, God is going to take me through. I can't do it on my own strength. I know God is going to take me through. That's the faith that I have, and that's the trust that I have in Him, to know that whatever it is that I'm faced with, He has already gone ahead of me. So He's already aware of everything that is going to befall me. And I know that He's going to work it out for me. So I just want to encourage you to have that trust, have that faith in God and what only He can do in your life. And, you know, when life starts lifing, look up, look to Him. You know, continue to commit everything to Him. Cast your burdens on Him. You know, continue to keep your mind fixed on Him. Don't focus on the problem when the problems come. Draw even closer to Him in that moment, so that He can keep you in perfect peace. So for this week, whatever it is that you might be going through, continue committing it to God. Continue praying about it. Now continue inviting Him, continue asking Him for the revelation, continue asking Him for the solutions, you know, continue asking Him to strengthen you in, you know, whatever it is that you might be going through in that moment. And continue having faith and trusting that He is able to do what nobody else can do for you. All right, so have a blessed week, my Mentally Fit tribe. Until next week.